Hi there, and welcome to another edition here on Busternet. My name is Rashidi, and yes, I am feeling much better. Thank you for all the messages. I was sick for a while, therefore, the last three shows of Torino's last season weren't too good. And because I was sick, I still wanted to play the game. So I carried on with my save and decided, well, why don't we do something different? If you've been following my blog, addicted2fm.com, you know that I started an experiment with Wolves as well as a different style of play, which is to enhance the possession of a team as well as to give yourself a lot of solidity and organization and to employ elements of counter pressing that you can find in Guardiola's system, in Klopp's system, in Arrigo Sacchi's system. I'm just employing the elements. I'm not trying to replicate the tactics here. The whole goal actually was to get myself ready for Champions League because I was going to face Real Madrid. And if you look at my season, when we actually played with a 4-2-3-1 all the way, I was messing about with all kinds of systems at the start. I was playing different kinds of systems because that's me. I was playing with Libero, I was playing this ridiculous looking system. And we did okay, but, I was just experimental. I was like, yeah, having fun, until the Champions League group draw was done and I discovered I was playing Real Madrid. At that point, I was still messing about until I played Feyenoord. Then I realized I got to start getting serious. Even against Feyenoord, I was playing with a 3-1-4-2. And the results were okay. 3-1-4-2, 8 shots on goal, 11. It wasn't a bad system. And then I realized, okay, we really got to get this act together. We're playing Real Madrid very soon. And if I don't come up with a system that can handle Real Madrid, I'll be in trouble. But having said that, we also didn't do very well in terms of goal scoring. My top scorer is Manuel Pucciarelli. He's only scored 9 goals out of 17 matches. We are top of the table, but 9 goals is symptomatic of my problem at the moment. Ever since we sold Andre Belotti, we haven't really had phenomenal goal scorers. We used the money from the sale of Andre Belotti to bring in other players. So basically did a whole Tottenham Hotspur thing with Gareth Bale. When they sold Gareth Bale, they went and bought a whole squad. But I didn't want to end up like Spurs. Okay, so we got in Andre Poli, who's not bad as a squad player. Giuseppe De Luca, which is a stupid thing I ever did. Stupidest thing I've ever done. I don't know why I bought him in. He hasn't played a single game. It's a complete waste of 2 million. Issa Mandi, this guy has turned out to be quite a good defender. Unfortunately for me, the one loss that we had this season against Sassuolo was down to his lack of concentration. He was standing in front of the AM instead of behind the AM during a transition. So as it turned out, the ball went over the top behind him and that guy went on to score a goal. Issa Mandi after that, I was pretty pissed. Rodrigo De Paul, he's my AMC of the future. You may want to change one of his PPMs. I don't like cuts inside from left wing for an AMC. Christian Ramos is a central defender, not too bad. Again, concentration seems to be in short supply in the transfer market for cheap players. And of course, Z Gomez. I brought him in. Unfortunately, I think he's still 2 seasons away from being a really good player. He's still trying. He's not really banging a lot of goals. I've got to, get him up to speed. It'll probably take me 2 more seasons. And then we also just managed to get this guy in, Ali Ghazal, as a defensive midfielder, more as a cover because I really depend on 3 central midfielders for my style of play at the moment. The guys who left the club, Andre Belotti, Bruno Perez, Sapacosta, Capuano, Jose Martinez, Joel Obi, and Maxi Lopez, either they were already sold before, they don't fit into my style of play, or the money was too good. So that's basically it. In terms of the tactics I used a lot of tactics, right? Messed about with a lot of tactics until I got to Real Madrid. This is the point where the counter-pressing idea came to my head. I've been telling people for a long time, don't play defensive very fluid. Then I was thinking to myself, how the hell do I make my team organized against a team like Real Madrid? So as I was thinking, maybe very fluid makes them compact. That we all know. Defensive reduces your risk. But what's the problem when you play with a defensive mentality? And this is the thing that's gotten a lot of people. A lot of people don't seem to get this. Defensive mentality is just a risk barometer. It tells your team, hey, we want you to play risk-free football. But if you use the tactical creator, what the tactical creator does is, as a result of that, if you don't do any changes, sometimes they hoof the ball. They don't do fantastic things with the ball. And players just clear the danger. But what if you told your team to play, give them specific PIs? Then maybe you can affect the way they play. So that's what I did. I went to very fluid, which, as has got the extra creative freedom. And if you use that, then what happens when you play defensive fluid? Very fluid. Oh my goodness, sometimes players might do things you don't want them to do, right? So I had a lot of, you have option A, play retain possession, which reduces their risky balls, or you surgically implant that into each player that you don't want making those kind of plays. So I opted to go for the surgical solution. Now, retain possession will also work, except that in this case, probably your role and the player is just as important for you, because if you have a playmaker and you do retain possession, it affects him as well to a certain extent. So here we have Real Madrid playing. We actually went to the Santiago Bernabeu to play against Real Madrid, and we went there with the explicit purpose of defending. And look at the stats: 59% possession. We really kept the ball in midfield. This is what I was gunning for. I wanted to make sure that the ball stayed with us in midfield. And in terms of, when we got into the opponent, we wanted to control possession in all 3/3 of the pitch, and we achieved that. And I was very happy with this result. In fact, they really only had one clear-cut chance, despite the fact that they 11 on target. A lot of their chances were long-range shots. I mean, they kept booming from the outside of the box. So you can see the midfield domination we had. We passed them to death in midfield. 572 passes out of 407. That, say something. We made them run around like crazy trying to get to the ball because we tired them out this game. We just wanted them to work really hard. So they worked very, very hard. And that's when I realized, okay, fine, this can actually work. Player ratings, you can see. The back line did really well. The front line didn't get many chances. Z Gomez got injured. Vittorio Paragini, Manu Pucciarelli still, I don't know if it's got a long-term future in my club. He's only there until I can get money to get another joker who can score goals. That is my biggest problem right now. I can't score goals. So you see, you look at this 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. These are like, matches where I nicked the win. 62% possession versus 38. Scored in the 11th minute. Then we got another 1-0 win against Cesena. Again, 64% possession. Okay, Paragini with the winner. Then came the big match. We got this all sorted. We were playing like this, and then Real Madrid came to our house and discovered how I play counter-pressing. Real Madrid had no answer. This whole match was us dominating Real Madrid this time. Real Madrid had no clear-cut chances. They had only 3 on target while we had 7. We passed them to death. And this time, completely didn't give them a chance to play with the ball. So we played really well. And the match saw Real Madrid, they actually had a player sent off out of frustration. They started getting really frustrated, not getting the ball. And you can look at the midfield domination. This game we totally dominated them. And this was when I realized, hey, I got to tell you guys about the system. So I was very happy against a world-class team. My average team did well. Unfortunately, again, here you can see the same problem I keep having. What the heck am I going to do with my strike force? My strike force isn't really performing. So I'm playing a defensive, very fluid 4-3-1-2. Naturally, it's narrow. It's going to demand that players create space for themselves. They're going to have to work the ball. They're going to have to run into space. They're going to have to do lots of things. They're going to have to pull players out. And that is the thing that I've realized. And sometimes in matches, what I end up doing is this. I drop my tempo, let them go patient. Sometimes I increase my defensive line. Sometimes I push myself up. I generally play with the offside trap one. I've gone up to standard. If I go to control, I drop my defensive line to normal. If I play on counter, I'll leave it on slightly high. If I want to compress them, I push the defensive line higher. Now, the danger of playing with a high defensive line is these areas. These guys, they get into trouble. Now, my wing back is on attack because I want him to actually support the transitions here. This leaves a big hole here. So this guy actually is around to support them as well. And up front, we've got a DLF and an AF and an attacking midfielder. So we have played okay in a lot of the matches, but generally I find that when you play with a defensive, very fluid system, tactically, you are going to have challenges. The first biggest challenge you're going to have is space. You're going to have to create the space. Just because they're very fluid doesn't mean that they're going to automatically go and find space. No, that's not going to be the case. So knowing who's going to play in your team is really important. So I've got this, I created this filter list, view list actually, and it's called my Destroyer DNA. And this one, it's basically for every person in the team who's on either support duty or defend duty. Basically, these guys are the ones that I'm depending on desperately to break up play. So it's only going to be this group of players, right? Defenders, midfielders, and defensive midfielders. The first thing I look at is teamwork and work rate. You can see they're right here, so I can really get a good look at them. So I go like teamwork and work rate. If you are not in the attribute list, like 12 is a bit too low for me for teamwork. So I need like minimum 14 or 15 before I can consider you in the team. And unless you are, unless you're really special, you don't play. So work rate is also really important. And then I look at the interceptions group. So this is the midfield group and support players. These guys better have good concentration, man. Because if they don't have good concentration, that ball they're gonna switch off. And if they switch off, the next thing you know, what is exactly what Mandi did in the loss against Sassuolo, he's gonna let a player behind him. So when that happens, it's too late. I'm playing with such a high line, I can't afford that. So and this concentration, anticipation. Then I look at determination. Okay, yeah, it's good to have now, but because I am playing a game where chances are I am usually going to be taking the lead. So if that is the case, then determination is not that critical, but it's still a good attribute to have. But it's not high on my priority list at the moment. What's really high is going to be concentration, anticipation, and of course, because these boys are they're going to have the ball and they're going to have like 2 or 3 players on them. So what do you think is going to be important? First touch and composure. So my midfield group better have a decent composure. So all of them have got like 13. 12 is okay, but the guys in the center, Benazzi, Baselli, Poli, DePaul, the ones I know are going to face a lot of pressure, they all have 13 composure. And they all have decent first touch. Benazzi, Baselli have 15 and 15. And then you have Poli, he's got 13. And then you've got Bianco, he's got 13. So that's important. So I think of closing down like grids, right? So there's only one thing in the game that has got something that looks close like that. It's this opposition instruction screen. So here, you can get to this screen from this tab here in the tactics screen. So I look at players who can cover zones. So when I've got my 4-3-1-2, they close from the front. I know I'm playing a 4-3-1-2, so the flanks are going to be weak. So this guy's going to close down much more. This guy's going to close down much more. It's pretty simple. So you look at this guy. He's got a whole zone he has to cover. This guy's to cover a whole zone. And this guy's close down from the front. Depends on the tactic I use. Okay, these closing down settings, they're not universal. All right, I close down, I do a high block, I do a medium block, that's true. But it depends on what systems I play. Sometimes I play a 4-4-2. Sometimes in some systems I might do it differently for a 4-4-2. I might do it differently for 4-2-3-1. I might do it differently for 4-3-1-2. And I'll definitely do it differently with other systems as well. But in all the systems, there's one thing in common. I don't close down much more from the back, and I don't use this guy. So I leave this guy, this group alone. This group doesn't do all that. I'm not implying that there's no other way of doing this, but I'm suggesting this is the way I do it. There probably are other ways of doing it. I mean, I know people use retain possession shout to increase possession, so you could use that. You could use the shouts or close down much more. That's really entirely up to you. It's really up to you how you want to play the game. This is the way I do it. I'm not suggesting that there's only one way of doing this. I mean, I'm sure there are other ways of doing the same thing. There are shouts like retain possession, close down much more. I just happen to be so obsessed with having control that I need to apply it to everybody the way I want them to play. So I'm sure there are other ways of doing this, and I would be interested to find out what you guys are doing as well. As you can see, I'm using a generic system here with CMS and CMD and CMS, but this would require me to place a lot of PIs. I could also do it differently, and I plan to do that in the next match because I'm going to use different roles to get what I want to get done, because some of these roles, they don't require you to embed the PI so much. And I'm deciding to try something different for this game. I'm at home, so I'm probably going to start the game a bit more attacking than I normally do. And I'm going to suss them out in the first couple of minutes before I decide what to do. Normally what I do is I play on defensive to suss a team up, but this time around I'm going to try and do it on attacking. Here we go, Mandi. Oh, sorry, I'm on standard, not attacking. I'm a bit concerned with my right flank. They have a wing back. You can see here they've got a rather attacking right flank. So this is the flank on which Danilo Avila will be attacking as well. So I have to be mindful on that. Valdifury with a great, oh, again, twice. Oh, my short corner routine. Working so well. Ah, side netting. That was my short corner routine, guys. Yep, I have a short corner routine I absolutely love. So far, we've had a fair few chances, but nothing on target. Benazi to Danilo Avila. We cracked the woodwork already once. And deflection. Karsdorp couldn't clear it. He tried to clear the ball, hits the ball, and the ball goes into the net. Incessant pressure from Torino, paying off in the end. Danilo Avila with the cross. You can see this right now. Header goes there. Karsdorp tries to clear the danger, smashes it against De Paul, and it's an easy goal. Napoli still haven't come out of the box yet, so we're going to try something in a short while. Pepe Reina with a long kick. Here I'm watching my defensive line. De Paul hits it back to Poli. Poli to Valdifury. Valdifury, great ball to Pucciarelli. Pucciarelli beats one player. He can't beat two. Come on, Pucci. That's a reason why I've been thinking about letting you go. I just don't think he's okay for a while. He was okay for a while, but I realized Andre Belotti made him look good. Koulibaly, Pepe Reina clears the ball again. Up in the air it goes. Gudetti, oh, he did really well. Ramos to Danilo Avila, back to Jansen. Jansen plays it to Valdifury. Valdifury plays it back to Poli. Poli now brings the ball up to De Paul. De Paul can dribble, gets it to Mandi. And this guy Mandi, sometimes he stinks. Okay, he plays really bad. Pucci gets a second goal. Okay, let me talk about Mandi for a bit. Mandi, okay, the thing about Mandi, the word Mandi, in several languages it means different things. Okay, so Mandi in the Malay language means bathe. So essentially, you have to have a shower. Okay, that's you say mandi to somebody, go mandi means go take a bath. Now Mandi stinks half the time in my games. Okay, he's got low concentration. If I play attacking, he gets out of position. So let's try to see what happens to Mandi in this game. Okay, we may not want to try that. Oh my goodness, what a disastrous piece of set piece there from who was that? Danilo Avila. What in the world was he thinking? Yeah, Jansen is retreating. He plays the ball to Jansen. Jansen isn't there. They score an easy goal. Oh my goodness. Danilo Avila. That was a shocking, shocking piece of play. Okay, here we are. Naturally, they're going to be attacking a lot more right now to force the equalizer. I suspect that will be the case. So far, they're still playing either standard or control. And you can see it just changed. So they're going to start the second half on a different mentality. So we're going to go defensive. I'm far from pleased with you boys. Okay, you're playing like shit. Okay, so we're going to go defensive for a while because I don't want to take the chance that Mandi screws me over. As it turns out, it was Danilo Avila who screwed me over. Man, Mandi and Danilo Avila will be sharing a shower. Okay. Avila with the free kick, strikes the wall. Poli goes off. Karsdorp made the mistake. But he can't clear the ball. It goes only as far as Danilo Avila. Poli now to De Paul. De Paul now to Valdifury. To Z Gomez. Z Gomez is a tackle. Hamzik, yellow card. Hamzik, red card. Hamzik off. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'm waving to you from here. Can you see me, Hamzik? Thank you very much. That's your red card. Aiza Mandi is 6.6. Let's do something funny. No, I don't want to do something funny. I was about to go attacking mentality. I'll do that if we score a third goal, okay? Corner, yeah, get your beauties. What a beautiful short corner routine. Did you see that? Oh my goodness, I love it when a plan comes together. That was nice. That's my goal. I mean, I want their short corner routines to look exactly like this. Poli back to Valdifury, crosses the ball to Z Gomez, smashes it. Ramos picks it up. We get our third goal. Now it's time for me to do something. Let's see Mandi. Okay, let's see what Mandi does. Yeah, this sounds crazy. This sounds almost suicidal. But then again, this is only a game. Okay, we'll drop to normal. Okay, well, since I'm going to be playing attacking. And we'll confirm some of these changes. And let's see what Mandi does. All eyes are now on the right flank because Mandi stinks and I'm expecting him to stink. So why did I go attacking? Because I want to see this guy screw up. Mandi, okay, this guy over here. He's always caught out of position when I go attacking. True to his name, he takes a throw, gives it to Waldi. I'm waiting for Mandi to make a mistake. They play it to Jansen. Jansen off to Danilo Avila. When you play on attacking mentality, chances are your passing is going to change. Danilo Avila loses the ball to Kubali. Kubali plays it down the line. Jansen does not have the pace to keep up with Insignia. And there you have somebody in the box. Gabbiadini misses a sitter. Mandi, well, he didn't stink there because he actually made it harder for the Gabbiadini to shoot. Mandi is on the opposite side. What does he do? Poli to Paul. DePaul to Valdifiori. Valdifiori play to Mandi. Mandi screws things up. Okay, I knew that was going to happen. Gabbiadini, Mandi, come on. Mandi, come on. Mandi, prove me right. Benazzi to Valdifiori. Mandi is on the flanks. He's off. He doesn't want to be late for the showers. Puts it into the box and Pucciarelli scores the fourth. Mandi, well, there's only one way to get Mandi to play, and that's to insult him. Yeah, Mandi, the boy from the showers. He crosses the ball to Pucciarelli. Pucciarelli beats Peperino with a phenomenal volley. Torino 4, Napoli 1. Well, Mandi, you haven't proved me right, have you? Okay, Insignia with the free kick into the box. It goes. Kubali gets to the ball, but it's offside. Well, we're deep in the stoppage right now, and unfortunately, we'll have to wait for another game to see if Mandi does what I expect him to do. And that brings the match down to final result 4-1. It was a comprehensive win, and I did several things in this game, as you probably are aware. We went attacking, we went standard, we went defensive. I played on all three mentalities, but what I did was I just changed the defensive line. So by not overcommitting my defensive line, I actually keep I keep the back line back a bit so that we don't overcommit, if you know what I mean. Okay, very fluid, has a lot of creative freedom, right? So I tell my players to do this. Okay. He's not doing this. He's actually supposed to do this. Okay, he's supposed to play fewer risky passes. Mandi has got this few risky passes, but actually Danilo Avila was supposed to have these settings as well. And some other players, he's a playmaker, so he's not been told to play with fewer risky passes. So I have several permutations on my 4-3-1-2. This happens to be another permutation on my 4-3-1-2, which has got a DLP, a box-to-box midfield, and a CM on defense. I've got one more permutation. It's got CMS, and that one has got more customized play instructions. And I've got a DLF in attack and an AF in attack. I've tried to do an overview of the whole season in the short time that I've done the show. I was sick and I'm trying to catch up. As you know, I would have played through the whole season. I had to stop just to do the Wolves experiment so that this season will get out of control and finish, before I can even do an update. The thing about the way I play is that I also place a lot of emphasis on views. I track interceptions like in this particular view, and if you key, I'll make them available for you guys if you guys want to have a look at some of these views and try them. These are all done on high resolution, so you might want to trim down some of the columns. Maybe take these 3 off. These are actually placeholders columns, so I use this as placeholders. I don't really care about PA, CA, and whatever the recommendations are. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Torino Diaries. I am trying to make it as helpful as I can because I want to show you that it's possible to play on different mentalities even when you want to close down much more. The only thing you have to worry about is you have to watch out for your defensive line. If you have any questions, you know where you can find me. You can always drop me a note at BusterNet, which is my Twitter handle, or find me at www.addicted2fm.com, which is my blog. And yeah, you can always drop me a like or subscribe to this channel and keep this channel going. Yeah, you guys take care. Have a good one. I'll catch up with you guys again soon. Bye-bye.